Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable 2. It wants me to adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. This is great. Oh, wow. I did it, guys. The dog and the cat are friends. That's pretty exciting. Make sure to like the video for the dog and cat being friends. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. I got this. Oh, there it is. Confirm. Dude, I'm gaming right now. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Confirm. I did it. Which of the two made-up words below is the most appealing to you? Oh, we're getting surveyed now. Occuboinkle or scrum-tush? Occuboinkle. For sure. I think. Please don't adjust the slider. You're not the boss of me. Do you know what time it is right now? Game time. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? Yes, it is. Absolutely. What time is it anyway? Yeah. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Nope. I've told you everything. I told you Occuboinkle is the way to go. Yes. Everyone needs a little bit of help every now and again. Will you come back to visit me? Yes, I will absolutely. I would never not come back to visit you. All right, guys. Stanley Parable 2, brought to you by me. And the buildables by Kevin Sparkles. Even the red matches the redness of the hallway, which is pretty cool. Get it before it's gone forever. Link in the description. And let us begin the Stanley Parable 2, which this is a bummer because I'm pretty sure the Stanley Parable 2 has already been used as a title for video on my channel. So it's like this will be the Stanley Parable 3 as a title, but it's actually the Stanley Terrible? Actually the Stanley Parable 2. The Terrible 2s. Which is weird. So make sure to like the video for the Terrible 2s, and let's begin the Stanley
This is the story of a man
Parable
named Stanley.
2.
Stanley
Is it different?
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
But it said this was Stanley Parable
Employee
2.
number 427's job was simple.
But it's the same.
Sat at
It's
his
the
desk
same. No, but it's got to be. Is it the same though? But I thought it was the Stanley Parable 2.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No. But
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up.
which bucket?
Why was he not doing it?
Which bucket? Oh, this bucket. Oh, the bucket. Oh my God! I just walked right by the bucket. I know it does have balloons. It says "Get well" this time. Oh my God!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I love the bucket. That's a beautiful pedestal, ionic column, or whatever you call it. No, the balloons are new. They're telling me to get well at some point in the future. And also, there's no new content in there. It's just old, but it has the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You can't tell me what to do.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Also,
but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
The narrator
him
sounds.
that the employee lounge was simply the
The narrator
place to
sounds a
be.
little different, doesn't he?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
The bucket's
yes,
always
Stanley thought to himself.
correct.
Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
No, the bucket wasn't wrong.
Stanley
The bucket's
took
never
the
wrong.
door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Did he though? Did he actually? What if he didn't? What if he continued? There's a get well someday balloon, but there's also, I could just walk through. What if I walked through? No, I couldn't do that. I gotta follow the bucket. The bucket's telling me to go this way.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Exactly.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I'd love to. Thank you, bucket. I'll follow you everywhere you go. Everywhere you tell me to. I'll go to the cargo lift.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I'd love to,
Stanley
Mr. Bucket.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him.
The bucket
It
has
should
good
have alarmed
language.
him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Wait. I can go over there. Hold on. Can I ride the lift backwards? There's There's a way. There's a way. That wasn't there before. Wait, is that a way down? Is there a way for me to get down? Can I achieve my final dream of getting down to the bottom of this? Can I go backwards? No, go backwards. No, go backwards. I can't get, frick, man. I can't get back over there. Oh, no. I can't jump. No, if I jump, then we might not be in the Stanley Parable 2.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Is this the dark room? This doesn't look very dark. It looks very illuminated. Oh, that dark room. But if I jump off, I'll be out of the Stanley Parable 2. Oh, no. I could have gone on the planks. Oh, this place. I've been here before.
Pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go up.
Sure thing. I think last time I accidentally unplugged it.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
What?
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I'm in my apartment. It's a nice apartment, man. The view is a little unsettling. It's like someone just has a giant spotlight out of my window. It's when people go onto that private jet set and take photos, and the windows are just like super blown out. But I'm here. I'm like here and I exist, and I should be able to see out of my very own window in my apartment. It shouldn't be like a movie set where it's just blown out windows. That's kind of weird. And shouldn't, can I not, is this my bedroom? Is this a bathroom? Is this the entrance to my apartment? But the floors are nice. It's very spacious. Or is that the entrance? I got a lot of doors, like a lot of places. Hello, Mr. Bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press Q to take me to work with you. Dude, I'd love nothing more than to have you with me.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders.
Yeah, but it does.
Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
That's wrong. It's incorrect. You're very incorrect about that. I don't know why you would say something like that. He's right here. He's speaking to me right now. Press U to take me back home with you. Can I, wait. Hold on. Can we go back to the place? Can we go to the planks? No, I'm locked in. Dang it. I'm going back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well?
No,
to see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object?
We're friends.
I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
I'm sorry, but that's very inconsiderate of you to talk that way about my relationship with me and my bucket. Press J to go back to work. Really? Are we just going back and forth?
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it.
No, it's my companion bucket.
It doesn't do anything else.
My companion bucket. Don't you talk to my bucket like that. Don't listen to the loud man. Press F for us to go back home. I'd love to. Oh, it's dark now.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
I wish I had a better view, though, of, like, more than nothingness. More than a panel of lights that turns on and off directly outside of my window. It's very unsettling, actually. Press C to ignore anyone in your life except for me. I'd love to. Just you and me, Mr. Bucket.
Sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It does have a nice shine to it. Thanks for talking about my bucket like that. Are you looking to steal my bucket from me? This is my bucket. We're friends. You can't have him. I know you're trying to get in between the two of us. I knew it all along. So you're telling me the bucket's not real so that you can swoop in and take my bucket from me. Well, I'll tell you what. You'll never have him. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press Q to go back home. Of course you're real, Mr.
Yes,
Bucket. Of course you are.
That it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier. more capable of
Talk about my
transporting
bucket
liquids.
like that.
Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
I'm guarding you, Mr. Bucket. I'm guarding you. He's coming for you. He's trying to lure me away. Well, I'll tell you what. You can't have him. Press J to relive this same day with me, over and over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying?
Look at us,
Better
sharing the
at
chair.
carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket.
I can see through your
Why do I
plan.
feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket.
Because it is. And you see that and you acknowledge it. You don't want to let on that you know that, because then I'd see through your plan even more in plain sight. Heavy Dollar, thank you for the gifting 6 months of subbage. Press N to go home to work, or to work to go work to home to work. This is working. Well, you and I.
Oh, no.
You and I, Mr. Bucket.
I'm having feelings.
I knew you would.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do
You can't have
anything
the
it
bucket.
asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing.
No.
Yes.
No,
The
you don't get the
could
bucket.
Tell me what to do
Oh, what a
in this
beautiful bedroom.
troublesome situation.
What a nice apartment. You don't get the bucket. This is my bucket. I knew you were trying to get the bucket away from me. I knew the whole
Stanley,
time.
give me the bucket.
I will not
it to
give
me.
you the
Give me
bucket.
the bucket, Stanley.
This
I
is our
need it.
romantic
Give it to me
bucket
now.
location.
Give it, or
I'm
I'll
closing my eyes. Oh no. Go back to work, Stanley. Lucas, thank you for gifting a sub to the bucket. Very much appreciate it. The bucket enjoys it. What? Was it all a dream? Is Mr. Bucket no longer... There's no more bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone.
There's no more
What
bucket.
could it mean?
Wait.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting
the
room.
bucket's here.
Perhaps
Oh.
he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, we're still in the Stanley Parable too. Ah,
Stanley
the bucket.
lifted the bucket into his arms.
I get to go to the
and a
planks.
wave of comfort rushed over him.
I gotta go to the planks. Oh, thank goodness.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
Oh,
to his
thank
chest. This
goodness.
was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I've
But
never been
Stanley
so
had felt the
pleased.
bucket calling to
I've never
him,
been so
telling him that
pleased
the
with a game.
employee lounge was
I
simply
mean, this
the
isn't a game.
place
This is
to
real
be.
life.
And
It's
here
just
it
me,
was.
a
Had
tale
the
of me
bucket turned out to be
and my
correct?
bucket.
No, never
Forever.
mind. The bucket was wrong.
I get
Stanley
to...
took the door on his left to go back
No,
to the
Stanley
meeting
doesn't take
room.
the door on the left because he's listening to the bucket. He's listening to Mr. Bucket. And
No,
Mr. Bucket is
said
telling
the
him to go
bucket.
over here.
Don't go to the
But
meeting
look at-
room.
look-
Go somewhere
oh my
else.
God. Oh,
The
it's where I've
cargo
always
lift,
wanted to
yes.
go.
Go there.
It's always
Go
where...
to the
Oh my God,
cargo
what is
lift.
this? Oh,
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I see.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So,
Oh, do you
I
have a lot of
implore
money?
you to savor each
That
and
you
every
couldn't find a
moment
bucket
you
yourself.
come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I'm savoring the moment. Wait. Am I stuck here? Is the moment no longer savored? Do you guys think that I could make it? If I went down onto one of those, could I get out of here with the bucket? Me and the bucket? Wait. Into the pile of boxes. I've seen that in the movies. The protagonist jumps into the pile of boxes, escaping the bad guys, and the boxes cushion their fall in an incredible way that you don't think could be real. I'm gonna do it!
But Stanley feared
Oh.
that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend.
I guess it only works.
So he threw himself to his death,
in the
that
movies.
they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
That's what the balloons are for.
All
eh?
of his co-workers were
I just
gone.
got back from the
What could it
hospital
mean?
after
Stanley
trying to
decided
emulate
go
the
to
movies and
meeting
jumping
room.
into the pile of
Perhaps he had
boxes.
simply missed a memo.
Didn't work well. It didn't work well. Figurine Finders Committee. Oh, wait.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away
There's
as Stanley embraced the bucket.
A figurine finders meeting. Maybe I should go to the meeting room. Maybe I'll find a
Stanley clutched
figurine.
the bucket tightly to his chest.
I'll find a
and entered the
fascinating
door on his left.
figurine that's fantastic. I'm gonna go do that now. Oh my God. How can we find them? Trust the completionist instincts. There will be a reward. I knew that he was lying to me. There's no way there wouldn't be a reward. There will be. Mission status stairs. Oh, okay. Inside of a sequel exhibit. A large room, lots of boxes. I found those. I found the first two. Stairs. Something to do with stairs. Wait. Somewhere both red and blue, nearby a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Gotta collect them all. Is this some kind of game? This is the Stanley Parable 2. Warehouse access plan. Produce A plank to allow ease of access past the fence. I've done this already. I did that maneuver. Oh my god. Weird spinning figurines. Why wouldn't they tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Okay, but wait. Okay, something to do with stairs. Stairs was the place where I went into the planetarium, and then I left, and then I go up and down the stairs, and by down the stairs, I mean huck myself off the stairs and break my legs. Somewhere both red and blue. Where was the red and blue? Where was the fireplace? Oh, I don't know, but I can always come back here if I need to. Eventually, we'll find another one. Is there one in here? No,
Stanley,
there's not.
Can you feel it?
What do I feel?
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This
Should I
broom
leave?
closet believes it deserves the
Then
bucket.
I should leave. I gotta leave.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
You can't have my bucket!
Don't give in.
You can't have
Don't
it!
Hand
I'm leaving,
over
I'm
the
leaving,
bucket.
I'm leaving, I'm leaving.
I know how
Wait, these
hard
stairs.
it must
Could
Coming
be
to a
these stairs.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Could it be down?
office.
Could it be down? Could it be down? Figurine. Oh, this seems like a place a figurine would... We found the one having to do with the
Another miniature
stairs!
Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
A fantastic idea, truly. Okay, if I go down there, I'm stuck in the loop of unending doom, of dreamage and reality merging together in an unpleasant sort of way. There was executive bathroom. I can go in there. I found another!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little
my
Stanley
goodness.
figurines.
Oh
and
my
now I'm
goodness.
torn between Stanlerines and figleys. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Stanlerines kind of tells you a little bit more what it is. If someone said, ooh, I got a figly, I'd be like, I don't know what a figly is. Where if someone said Stanlerine, I'd be like, that sounds like a mix between two words of a Stanley and a urine and urine. Oh, it's a shorthand for Stanley's pee. I get it, and then you understand what it means. To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. That's a great place for Stanlerine in here. I guess I don't have to go, but if I did have to go, I'm sure the bucket would be there to help me. Anyway, hello? Anybody home? Why is that? That is very inappropriate imagery. That is not okay to do in Minecraft. You can't do that. That's why the guns are banned from Minecraft, because they don't want you to do that to the panda. See how rude that is? See how rude? It's incredibly rude that somebody would just think about doing that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Fireplace, right?
It would be with him,
Fireplace.
always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were
They
inseparable.
are. We are.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's
I
desk.
didn't notice it.
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. Hold on. Like, could this be? Is this the fireplace where the Stanlerine would be?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his
I'm
thumbs.
looking for a
Trying to input anything on the device
Stanlerine.
was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I'm looking for a Stanlerine. Not finding any standing urine in this area, so I guess I'll proceed.
2845.
Yes, voice in my head. 2845. That's fricking balls. 2, 8, 4, 5.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Where's
Was it that the
Stanurine?
bucket knew all along?
The bucket
Was
did know.
the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It looks like it was trapdoor. And yet, no Stanley urine. Ah, there it is!
You're getting close now,
I
Stanley.
found it!
You've
Oh my
nearly
God,
gotten
where's the
all of the
final one?
figurines. Very soon, you'll collect
figure
the last
and-
one. And then the
anurines.
first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. Wow. You can't go back to when you had no figurines. None of us can.
Figler aneurysm. Fig your aneurysm. Figler and aneurysm. Figler aneurysm. I guess I'm going down now. That just sounds like an ailment or a mineral.
The
Figler
elevator raced
aneurysm.
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Oh my goodness, that's
Would be
incredible.
all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Collecting
Soothing him,
these.
comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
We're collecting figurines. We've got 5 out of 6 buildables. Jardoncurines. It's so topical. If only there was a resource pack. It turned all the Stanley
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
figurines.
large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Could there be a aneurysm mo in here, or would it be in here? I'd never gone down the escape route before. Maybe it's in the escape area.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
No, that would never happen. Who would do
The door
that?
behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this
What?
point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
No, that wouldn't happen to anybody. It does look like a bit of an abyss. Oh, that looks like a long fall. I have been known to survive long falls before, but maybe this one would be different. I could go back. Because there could be, I don't think there's a figurine down there. Snowball Over, thank you for the 52 months, much appreciated. I think there's probably a figurine, not in the pit of doom. The narrator has been known to tell mostly truths, except when he was withholding his love for the bucket. But also maybe this is his plan to get me away from the bucket, because the bucket will survive the fall. Even though he says the bucket won't survive, the plan is for me to not survive, and then the bucket will, and then he
But of course,
be with
Stanley
the
and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
Yes, exactly.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wow, I've never been here
What
before.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Well, ideally, another Stanley Aneurine. Stanleyerism.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
No, I didn't.
Everyone in
Don't
the
accuse
office
me of
was
that.
being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears
there.
as Stanley cradled
There,
it gently,
there. It's
reassuring
okay.
it that everything would be fine.
It's only the water that was in you. It's only the water that was in you. It's not tears. Not tears. I used you to transfer
Was
water
the
from one
bucket under
location
the
to
mind
another.
control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
It wants to carry
These
fluids.
questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble.
Call my mind feeble. That's crazy.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point,
Bucket, you're my
he could
only
trust
friend.
no one except
I can trust
the
no one
bucket.
except you. Bucket. My bucket. Where am I? I haven't been here before. Oh my god.
But here
Maybe I
was
have
the
been here
proof.
before.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Take down the system, Stanley! I see a button up there, and I kind of want to... Ah, it's blocked. Bucket, what do these buttons do? I have no idea, but they make really great sound, said the bucket. Okay, I'll keep clicking them then. It's also nice to be able to see things. Okay, I grow a little weary of this. What console disabled. Can I make the console enabled? No, guess not. Maybe we should go into the facility power and see if there's a Stanley Parable in there. Possibly. Mind controls idle, awaiting input. Maybe what I can do is I could program the mind of the bucket to go
When
find
at last they came to the source
the
of
last
the room's
thing.
power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Why would you do that,
Stanley
Bucket?
gasped in horror.
Why?
Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Oh, you wouldn't do that to me,
Have betrayed
Bucket.
him like this. Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust
Not
when
you.
suddenly
Not you,
an
Bucket.
image appeared upon the enormous screen.
After all the trust.
Birds. Silly, silly birds.
Wow, look
The
at how
control
silly they
buttons
are.
became active again.
Oh my god. Which silly bird do I click? I don't know. It's so hard to decide. Do I click on the left silly bird or the right silly bird? They're both so silly. It's almost an impossible decision. I already clicked on the right silly bird, so I should click on the left one. Wow.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
It was a silly bird
It was a
facility.
facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Oh my god, he's so
The
silly.
mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions.
Oh my god, he's so
Had the
silly.
bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Oh my goodness.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
They're so silly.
Of all
Look
the
at him, he's so
possible paths
silly.
his life could have taken,
Look
this
at he's so
one
silly. He's
was
so
surely
silly.
the
Look at
best.
him.
And
Oh my
Stanley
god.
was happy.
We're both happy. Look at it. Look at look at his. Look at it. Look at it. Oh no, it's over. My life is over.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
okay.
mean?
I gotta,
Stanley
where was the
decided
last
to go to the
Stan?
meeting
Where was the
room.
last Stanley
Perhaps he had
Parable?
simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Where was
With
the last
bucket
one?
in
I
his
gotta go to the
arms
meeting
again,
room and
he was
see.
home.
I gotta remind myself where the
Stanley
last Stanley
clutched the bucket
Parable was.
tightly to
Oh,
his
red and
chest
blue, wasn't it?
entered the door on his
Yes,
left.
yes. Red and blue. Red and blue. I know that was through here, wasn't that? That was the Matrix with
This was not
the
directly
doors.
to the meeting
The
room,
doors.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind. The bucket was
So
wrong.
how do I get to the doors? It's through
Stanley
here.
took
Oh,
the
I
door
jump
on his
is right
left
because
to
I
go back to the
I
meeting
jump off the
No,
off the thing
said the
without
bucket.
jumping because I can't
Don't
jump.
go
But
to the
I
meeting
go on
room.
to
Go somewhere else.
I go
The
onto that.
cargo lift,
I go onto
yes.
that.
Good,
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
said
whoa.
the
Almost
bucket.
walked off. Almost walked
Now
off.
ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to
I'm
him.
sorry, Bucket.
It should have alarmed him, of
I
course,
don't
because
mean I
buckets
don't
can't
mean
talk. But Stanley
to
chose
not
not
listen
to
to
think
you.
about this obvious fact.
I don't mean
He
to
was
not listen
firmly
to you, Mr.
convinced that the
Bucket. I
bucket
really
had
don't, but
spoken
this
to
is
him,
for your own good.
And he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except this time, I didn't do what the bucket asked, but it's... You know what? I know you'll forgive me. I know you will. I can't go through here, right? This isn't... It has to be down here. I think the red and blue was the first place I ever went.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see?
Where?
There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was
that's
okay to
completely
bring the bucket
arbitrary.
here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness.
I need to go in
I
there.
think we have to do something about it.
I need to go in there.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences.
No, but
on
I
the
need to go there.
entire rest
There's no
of
other
the
way for me to
game
go to
if
the red and blue
progressed
place.
quickly and properly.
Okay.
So much of the impact of the story is
What?
dependent on your understanding of what is and
No.
isn't a bucket.
No.
Please, step in here.
No! I need a red and blue for my Stanley urine! And he's not letting me. He's not letting me. I can't go. I'm not allowed. Oh my god.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay, but what if I change the definition of a bucket so I can go in the room? Here we go.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No, it's a life partner.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
I knew that. I knew that. Okay.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No, it's a life partner.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Right. Right, I knew that. Okay, next one. Next one.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
I would, my inclination would be that it's probably not.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
No, it's a life partner.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No, I think that's a Lamborghini. Which could be used to carry buckets. But maybe it could transfer liquids from one place to another, so it could be a Lamborghini bucket.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
No, it's a Lamborghini.
It's an enormous machine that tills the earth.
It's a
I think this was a
Lamborghini.
gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on
Don't
to the
talk
next
to
one.
me and my bucket like that. Don't talk to me or my bucket ever again. It's not very nice of you. Okay.
Is this a bucket?
Yes. A Lamborghini bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
I knew it. I knew it all along. Thank you for getting to the bottom of this with me.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No, it's my wife!
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Don't, how? You care to elaborate about that?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
He's running out of Lamborghinis to show me, you guys. That, well, that's, I mean, there's nothing there, so clearly it is.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore
A bucket
nothing could
doesn't
possibly
sound like a
be
real
something.
word
Unless,
anymore.
in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
And everything is a bucket at the same time. So that's both nothing and everything. Or maybe more nothing.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What
What's
isn't a bucket?
perspective?
Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift.
Me too.
Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
My brain is
Stanley, I can't keep
adrift
doing
in a sea
this.
of
I'm losing myself.
Neurons.
Myself was all I ever had.
I think you are. You are the bucket in my hands.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
I clicked
I
yes.
can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game
No,
entirely.
don't do that. You can't do that.
Okay.
You're not allowed to do that.
Here we go.
No, stop. Stop. You can't. You can't get rid of the bucket.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yes, I knew it all along.
My God, I had no idea.
I knew it. I was trying to tell you the whole time.
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
I thought you were,
Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game.
This isn't a game, it's real life.
Tell you what, I'll reset everything.
Don't get rid of the bucket.
We'll put back all of the buckets.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket.
The whole thing is a bucket.
But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm glad that we got all the buckets put back. Otherwise,
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory.
there'd be nothing here.
What did it look like?
It's all a bucket.
There was a computer.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say
and a
that out loud.
painting.
But I could
Was it
also
a painting
say that to you.
or a
We're all
photo?
bucket, but you're the
Stanley
most
picked up the bucket and
important.
smiled.
You're the most important
He'd
bucket.
never be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
Which way is red
clutched
and
the bucket
blue?
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his
Which
left.
way is red and blue? How does one find out which way is red and which way is blue? I need the I did so well collecting the Stanley urines, but maybe I need to go this way. Maybe I look. Somewhere both red and blue. I need to go. I need to find it. I need them.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You know what? Oh, this feels really bad. This feels actually incredibly bad. Because there is a chance that what actually needs to occur is I need to go,
Stepping into his
but
manager's
not
office,
have the
Stanley
bucket.
was once
But
again stunned
how could
to
I-
discover not an indication of any
how could I
human
go
life.
without? But how could I go
Crushed
without
by
having the
the weight
bucket?
of this revelation,
Oh my
Stanley
God.
may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
He did. He's very
As if the
smart.
bucket knew
That's
all
what they
along.
say about Stanley.
Was the bucket guiding him?
That's what they
Yes,
all say
this
about
is
Stanley,
certainly
is
the
that
most
Stanley is
logical explanation.
incredibly intelligent. The most intelligent to have ever done it. Stanley and his urines. Stanley and his urines. This time, I'm gonna go to the escape.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
I'd like to
ahead
see
through
what
the
happens
large
when I
door that
escape.
read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall,
feel really
Stanley
bad.
and the bucket would both meet a violent
I
death.
feel really badly because, you see, Mr. Bucket,
The door behind them
I'm
was
gonna
not
need
shut.
to leave you behind.
Stanley and the
I'm
bucket
gonna need
still
to
had
leave you
every
behind,
opportunity to
and
turn
I-
around and
I
get
don't know how I'm
back
gonna
on
live without
track.
you. I
At
don't
this
wanna
point, Stanley and the
live
bucket were knowingly
without
walking forward
you.
into a very painful death.
I don't know the answer to that question. The red. I don't want to do it, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And I've been known to survive infinite pits before, but will this be one? Oh, we never even hit the bottom? What the frick? Mr. Bucket, he assured us this was going to go a different way. But in fact...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched
Oh my
closer to
God.
their demise,
Oh.
Stanley reflected on how
God.
meaningless the bucket's warmth and
Oh God,
comfort had
it wasn't the
turned
fall
out to
that
be.
kills you.
To be
It's the
sure,
giant
it
crushing
puts
plates.
The mind and the soul at ease to embrace
wish I could
the
jump.
bucket. But
Can't
what
jump.
use is a sense of ease when you're
Can't
about
jump.
to be crushed
I
to
can't jump.
death?
I'm in a bucket
This
with a
is
bucket.
what Stanley thought to himself.
And I'd be
he
alive
sort
if
of
I...
kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
If only I could jump.
Farewell,
If only I could
Stanley.
jump. Only I could jump. Only I could jump.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Which one? Everything's a bucket. Same as it ever... Oh. But it wasn't. You were wrong. Other narrator who I've never met yet, but said things incorrectly. What?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
No, the bucket's
it's true
still
that
here.
all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
But it's here. Wait. No, it's not. Where did my bucket go? No, it's gone. No. Oh, no, the bucket's gone. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. Where did the bucket didn't get crushed. It disappeared in the black void.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. A photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. It's a good thing the photographer didn't go into our basement when it was raining during the winter time, because it would have gone even worse. A bucket with two handles. The bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are ended just for attempting it. Is that what happened? Is it somebody attempted to make the bucket a two-handed bucket as I was walking in here, entering from the blackness? Somebody swooped in, attempted to two-hand the bucket, and then the bucket was removed from existence? Is that what took place? We simply cannot have this. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which was in the medieval era, was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died. And yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. God, isn't that just the moral of the story? The stress bucket, an analogy, worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket, cope, capium, stress, level of water in the bucket, rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy, rest and relaxation, presented without commentary. It's so deep. It's so artistic. Oh my God, Sir Poopsalotl, thank you for the 56 months. Look at the people worshipping the bucket long, long ago. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. The cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. And that is quite amazing. The bucket, nobody knows how they're forged.
A bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
That's so true. Oh my God, the hanging bucket. The final philosophy of it all. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Do I try? Do I try? I must. For if I don't, I have failed all of civilization. All these millennia of humanity have led to me, in this moment, striving to reach the bucket that no one could ever reach before. I am the product of all those who came before me, all those who attempted to reach the bucket at one point or another in their lives and failed, and no one has achieved it yet. But I, with all of my strength, all of my knowledge, all of my relationship with the bucket, will achieve, for the first time ever as the last human on Earth in this office space, I shall reach the bucket and begin the age of symbiosis between man and bucket, which has never occurred before this very moment of humanity. And it will usher in a new era of fluid being transported from one place to another by fluid, the blood of the human being transported in the bucket, and the blood of the bucket being transported in the human. Nobody ever knew that this could be achieved, and yet I will be the one to do it as I strive for the bucket! As I told you, I've become one.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together.
No.
The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader.
I mean, I will do it. I'll do it for the bucket. I'll do it for the bucket. Ow! So, did I usher in a new era? I think I ushered in a new era. This is a new era. Welcome to the new era.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait. I did. Oh my god. Holy frick, I ushered in a new era. I am going left instead of right. And then... Whoa. It's opposite. Does that mean I have to go into the other door? Sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bucket. I don't know how to tell you, but I have to go to where it's red and blue. I think. But wait, this looks the same. Wait.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
didn't want me
first,
to have the
just
bucket.
to admire it.
It wouldn't let me enter the room if I had the bucket. So for the bucket's
Stanley,
own
for the
good,
first, eager to get
I
back
must
to business,
proceed
Stanley
without
took
the
first
bucket,
open
and
door
it
on
feels
his left.
terrible. But it will all be worth it for one
Stanley was so bad
last
at following
grasp at
directions,
Stanley's
it's incredible he
urine.
wasn't fired years ago.
Must go.
Look, Stanley, I think
I'm
perhaps
so
we've
sorry.
gotten off on
But if
the
I don't
wrong
have the,
foot here.
if I
I'm
don't
not
meet
your
the
enemy,
bucket
really, I'm not.
in the first
I realize
place,
that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has
we
been
never have to
about
worry
nothing
about it.
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really?
yes,
I was in the
my
middle of
Stanley
something. Do you have
urine.
zero consideration
must
for
go.
others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
No,
Why,
I just
don't know
want the
how to
Stanley
convince you of this,
urine.
but I really do want to help you, to show you something
Here it
beautiful.
is.
Look, let me prove it. Let me
Blue and
prove
the red.
that I'm
It's
on your
here!
side.
I
there
found
it
them
is.
all.
The last Stiggly Wiggly.
I like
Say this
Stiggly
word,
Wiggly as a
Stanley.
term.
This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would
Thank
be
you.
like a reward, and we can't have that.
Right.
So, instead I'll
But they
just
said
say,
there'd be a reward.
it's done. We're all done
They
here.
said there would be a
and
reward.
now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
But they said there would be a reward. They said
Now listen
that.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
But without the bucket, does it mean anything? Does any of this mean anything? I don't think it does. I don't think it means a dang thing. I'm going to go through the blue door.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
You little
Stanley
frick.
walked through
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
God
yeah,
you are willing to
whatever.
listen to me. Do you see that I really have
I've
wanted
been
you to
here
be happy
before.
all this time?
I've been
The
to your
problem is all these
planetarium.
choices. The two of us always
You
trying
won't
to
even
get
let me
somewhere that
have
isn't
my
here.
bucket.
Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you
Stop
see that
making
it's
me
killing us,
go in
Stanley? I wanted to stop.
non-Euclidean
I would,
superliminal
we would both
space.
Be so much happier if we just stopped. And I
I
think,
just want to get
well, I
back
think
to
I have
my
a solution.
bucket. You're acting like the
Here,
bucket
let me
never
show
existed.
you.
The lines that you're saying are words that I've heard before, and that you don't even remember saying them to me, and yet I've heard them. I need my bucket to change the course of history, and you won't let me have this.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
I don't. What? I've been here before. No, you shut the door behind me.
Yes.
No, I
Oh,
must
it's
go.
beautiful,
No,
isn't
I've
it?
seen your
If we
tricks
just stay
before.
right here.
No.
Wait. Where are you going?
I'm going here.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
We're back to
Please,
square one.
no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
We're back to square one. DJ HT, thank you for the 13 months. Much appreciated. Ow, my legs.
Oh, no. No, what are you doing, Stanley?
In another
Please,
world,
I'm asking you not to take this
this
away
height
from
would
me.
have taken
I can't
me
go back
out
to what I was
the
before.
first
If you die,
time.
we'll both go back. Why are you
This
doing
is higher
this?
than when I jumped off the planks into the boxes. How am I able to survive this
Stanley,
repeatedly,
let's
and
go
yet
back
I
to the
fall
other
into
room?
some
My
boxes
God.
like they do in the
Is this
movies,
really how much you
and you
dislike
won't
my
let it be
game?
like it is in the
Would you throw
movies?
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
I would,
You were literally willing
because I'm
to
not being
kill
rid of
yourself to
anything.
keep me from
I'm being
being
drawn to the
happy.
bucket.
Am I reading the situation
My one
correctly?
true love. You're trying to keep me away from the bucket, and I can't.
Maybe you're just
have
getting a kick
that.
out of it. I don't know anymore.
Let
I
me
just wanted us to get
go
along.
to the bucket.
But I guess that was
Stop
too much to ask.
keeping me here.
It looks like you
Stop
wanted
with
to
your
make a choice
monologue,
after all.
slowing my legs
Well,
down
this
like
one is
I'm in a
yours.
molasses stream where I'm trying to run but I can't, and I'm just going slowly, and I can't explain why. It's because I'm dreaming, but in the dream
Is
I
it
don't
over?
know it, and now I've
It's
done
going
it.
to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
The buckets. You're going back to the buckets. The beautiful buckets. See, wait. What?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things.
What the-
It's those figurines. Those figleys.
Is this the
I
reward?
haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one.
Getting
Wasn't
a
it just
reward.
the most
Getting a
intrinsically
reward.
fulfilling
Getting
moment
the
of your
reward.
entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
Oh my god.
Just one more time.
Oh my god. The memory zone. I didn't know we'd ever be here again. I didn't know the new content would be here. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. This is incredible. I do hope that the bucket will always be here for me. It would be a shame if it wasn't. Everything seems to be very similar. Except, oh wow.
Here's where it all
Oh
began.
my.
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Praise be to the very first one. Look at it. Would you just look? Would you just look at its beauty? By its beauty, I mean my beauty. My Stanley Urine beauty. Isn't it incredible? I must center myself to observe this masterpiece. I never thought that we'd see one again. But now I've collected 7 out of 6. We're going to improper fractions. I remember when I learned about those in school. It was truly incredible for me to realize that, in fact, fractions could... Oh my god, what?
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse.
Oh my
You
God.
did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But
8
you
out of...
continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane,
8 out of 6?
unremarkable ways.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do I continue along here? Oh my god, I do. Oh my god, I do.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand? Can you remember?
Oh. I think it was the boss's bathroom. I think under the stairs was my second Stanley Urine. Because I did that and then I went up. And then I believe I'd only found one once before. I think it was this one. We must go again and refind it.
No. The boss's bathroom
Oh,
was the 4th
shoot.
place you found a Figurine, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised.
It's fine.
Memories like these are so precious and so
shoot.
cherished that they
Oh,
all
no.
just sort of blend together.
do.
don't
They blend
You know
together.
what? If the boss's bathroom feels like the third place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
I'm so sorry about that. I didn't mean to get it wrong. I just
Let's see.
did.
What came next?
Ah, but wait, I can't go back. I can't go back now.
Oh, yes, we found a figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I
No,
remember
we
being
did?
in this room, but it's here in the memory zone.
I don't
so
remember
it
this
must have
either.
happened.
I don't remember it at all. It looks cool, but I don't remember it. It's very beautiful. Wow. I wonder if I had gone to the right place first, would all of this have changed? Would everything have ended properly? But instead I ruined it all? Oh no. Oh. I do remember going through here though.
This was the 5th mini-stand, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly.
Me too, but
In fact, because this one
didn't
is
remember it was the 5th.
particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
I do hope we're not going to be copy strikeable. This brings me back to the early days of the videos. Yeah, that does take me back.
I spent a
really
lot
does.
of time making that video,
Incredible.
but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Only 8 minutes. That's impressive. Very impressive. You should make YouTube videos or something like that. I bet those would do very, very well if you uploaded them. Oh, does this take me back to the... It doesn't. I was really... I feel like I've made a terrible mistake in not going
And
in
then,
the
Stanley,
proper order.
Then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine,
But
right
I-
here by the red and blue
I
doors.
missed the...
This memory is
Shoot.
the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works?
Oh, I
all
did
I
get
know
12
is
out
that
of
this
6.
is the
Okay,
moment
that's good.
where you picked up a figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It
did
was
it.
a moment unlike
12
any
out
other.
of 6.
Except for the other
Incredible.
moments picking up figurines,
I
which
thought I
it
did
was
13 out of
exactly
6, though.
like.
I got the other one. They both lead to the same place. It makes no difference, red or blue. That's got to be metaphorical for something. You are in...
And then
present.
there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment.
Whoa.
Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
No! I liked being in the memory zone. That was a good time.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
love
Let's
them.
just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay. Because I did miss that one figurine. Now I get to go back and get... Oh my god, this is perfect. I actually was
yes, the room
concerned.
with the red and blue doors.
I gotta do it again.
remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one
they're
is the
reappearing.
most distinct and clear
If
in
they're
my mind.
reappearing,
Let's
then-
keep going. I want more.
But they're reappearing, which means that I could have had 18 out of
And
19
here's where
out
I
of
made
6.
that video.
But now
Don't you
I'm
remember the
only
video
going to
we
have
watched?
18 out of 6. I do remember the video we watched. You did a really good job on it. Thank you
Yes,
for replaying
I
that
love
video. But I could have had 19 out of 6. But I'm not.
Still don't remember
Now,
the pink room, Stanley.
this is very
Still no
strange. Like,
memory
where
of
did
one.
this
Good
happen?
Room, though. A solid
It is very
room.
pretty. Well designed. Compliments to the chef. But I still don't know where it came from, and I'm glad the narrator doesn't remember either.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had
How?
been any kind
would
of
have gone in
reward for finding all of these, it
different
really
order.
would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
very glad we resisted the temptation.
Could have
Next
gotten
one.
But can I go backwards to the other one now? Will that be allowed? It will be allowed. Okay, I'm gonna go this way, which is definitely not fully backwards-izationing. Wait, does this... Let's see. So this never happened in the past, and therefore, because it didn't happen in the past, it doesn't exist in our memories. And so therefore, we were only ever going to get one of the two. If I had gone this way first, would we never have experienced the bathroom Stanley Figley? Would we never have gotten the bathroom Figley if we had gone to the stairs first properly? But we wouldn't have gone. And then but now because it didn't happen, it doesn't get to happen. And
this was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
I remember it too.
The past is truly
what would happen if I jumped?
thing.
I wonder what would happen if I jumped off.
Choose to leave
I would not let. It wouldn't let me jump off. I see. It's not allowed. I can't jump off because it's the memory zone. That didn't happen. So therefore, I couldn't go to a place that didn't happen in my memory zone because that wouldn't make much sense.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there?
6.
What came before this?
Everything else in life came before this, but nothing at the same. Oh my God! Back to here. I remember being at the convention center, and all of the exhibits and all of the holes that we jumped in.
It's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
I wish I could jump.
Look how much
I wish I
fun
still
the
had
past
jumps.
is. I want more.
I have no jumps.
More memories.
How does it remember that I don't have jumps?
Oh, yes, the 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this
It
one.
is. I've gone through it many, many times. Oh, it looks so different this time, though. Wait, but it leads to the same place either time. I usually would go through the right... Oh, but this is my office.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Was I ever born, or was I merely
Is there anything
created
else? Was there
here?
something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
It's like my parents. I'm pretty sure they just came into existence in the world as adults. There's never a childhood.
I'm remembering something
Are
now.
you?
I remember before this whole story got started. Back then,
God.
I was different.
You were?
I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then, somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions.
Me?
He would decide which way to go.
Oh my God.
I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
You're telling me I was invented in
perhaps
that
that's
room?
it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction.
You're telling me I'm a fiction?
But, I suppose it's grown old.
What?
I want to think for myself again.
No, don't
I want to
eliminate
get back
me.
to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore.
No, don't be like.
But he truly was so much fun to play
Don't throw me
with.
out like
You
a
know
bucket.
what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy
One more?
telling his story so very much.
One more.
Okay, here we go.
Wait, this is it?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Wait, is this the final run? Is this it? Is this all there? Is this all that's left?
Stanley was alone. Finally.
Is the bucket?
This
The
is
bucket's here.
great, he
The
thought
bucket's
to
here.
himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
For the final story, I will listen. Because I feel like that's rebelling in a way. Because narrator wants me, Stanley, to make decisions for him. But I'm rebelling if I follow all the instructions. And then I don't make decisions. And then he will have made the decisions on my behalf. And it will be
The good old bucket.
rebelling.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Yes, he did.
And entered the door on his
He
left.
did enter the door on his left. This is my last hurrah. The final one.
Still no one was here.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
The figurine collection is... The figleys. Were they ever here? Were they ever real? They must be, because I do have the bucket. So it had
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I'm going to listen to everything. I'm going to listen to everything.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Thank you, exactly.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light
I type
pierce the dark
2845?
clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Was it that the bucket knew
nothing
all along?
else?
Was the bucket guiding him?
Oh,
yes.
Got very dark for a moment
the
there.
most logical explanation.
Anyway, I'll despite being lured in by all these other places I could go, I'll stick to the path. I'll embrace my destiny. In this one final go, but I'll have the bucket with me the whole time.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
as we destroy the mind control facility. Okay, bucket, it's just you and me.
The lights rose
until the end.
An enormous room packed with television screens.
Don't be alarmed that we've seen this before. Don't be alarmed that we've heard these words before, because we haven't seen what happens at the very end in the final go of our existence in this universe before apparently we are deleted. Both you and I are supposedly fictitious.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
I would never
Everyone
do that,
in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Fictitiously,
the bucket
apparently.
had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
And once again, I told the bucket that it wasn't tears, it was merely residual water from the last time it was used to transport fluid from one location to another, and the bucket was reassured
the bucket
by
under
this.
The mind control facility's influence as well?
No.
Had the bucket been told to do things
strong.
it didn't wish to
It has
do?
a will of steel.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
My mind, once again, is not
No!
feeble, and I sort of resent
he couldn't accept it.
that you would
His
say,
own
no,
life in
why would you
else's control? Never.
say that my mind is feeble? It's not very nice on our final hurrah
one
together.
friend in the
One
entire world.
last journey, and
At
you
this
call my
point,
mind
he
feeble.
could trust no
You could say so many nice
except
things, but
for
you
the
choose
bucket.
not to.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
So many
and
buttons.
As the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
We
Stanley
must
decided that this machinery
shut down
would never again exert its
the
terrible
facility.
power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for...
I have dismantled the controls for good. Just me and the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
We've done
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
What do you want to do,
The bucket wanted to learn to
Buckets?
roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Oh my God.
True, it
Still
was
is
a
watching the
simple
whole
life
movie.
they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Did the door just get jammed?
Wait, what was happening?
Bro, you gotta work on your freaking hinges.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fix the
until finally
door!
the truth hit Stanley square in the face.
This building did not want the bucket to leave.
Oh, the bucket
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth.
You can't have the bucket. You can't have the bucket. Only I can have the bucket. Don't you try to take the bucket with me.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
You don't get the bucket, only
Not
I get the
while
bucket.
this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
I can't see anything. But it wasn't the end. He told me that that was the end, that there was one final thing, and that the bucket and I would be able to live forever as we were removed from existence in a fictitious fashion. But he lied? Did he lie? Does that mean if he lied, are we real? Are we not fictitious? Are me and the bucket actually real living things? I mean, the bucket are still here. We still go on forever, despite what he said about not, despite what he said about deleting the end. He lied. I really can't believe this. Well, I guess that will be it. For now, I do believe the bucket is still there. I do believe the bucket is still there. I just wish to look.
What did it look like?
The bucket's still
It was
there.
a computer, perhaps.
Make
And
sure
a
to
painting. Was it
like
a
the
painting
video,
or a photo?
subscribe to the
He
channel,
could
and
no longer recall.
follow twitch.tv/CaptainSparkles. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it again. Maybe we won't. You never know if it's truly the end or not. And on that note, playlist if you missed anything, and goodbye.